when this transistor is on, okay, when it is off, then when this transistor is on, the signal over here will drop because it will flow through these transistors. When this is off, then the signal level here will go up. So think of here, you just trace it yourself. You will find that VIF, when the yellow signal is going this direction, up this direction, then you see that your RF signal that is over here is increasing up because this transistor is off, and then it will remain in this stage. Then this transistor is on in the second half, then it starts in that way. These are phase transitions, and so finally you are getting this kind of signal. And if you just take the average of that, you are getting the signal at the end. It's a very, very important to understand that you are getting basically an RF in, which is a much higher frequency, but intermediate stage you are getting a much lower. Yes or no? Because if you look at this stage, one half the M1 transistor will be on, other half the M2 transistor will be. So that was this phase transition of the. So you look at here, this is going up, then it again going up. So actually the signal profile will be looked at. So now you understand how this physically we can interpret the IF operations. It is the local oscillator is getting multiplied with the modulated with the RF1, and finally it gives you a lower frequency, that is the difference of that. So that is the IF frequency, and its gain is twice GM, because you know that GM differential state, so it is 1 by GM, and from there you can calculate the GM into R. So the intrinsic gain of this transistor is GM into R, and the 2 by pi factor comes because of this square wave calculation. You know that in square wave the 2 by pi. So that part is coming, so it is giving as the 2 by pi GM into R. So if you just understand this one and you will how this 2 by pi comes, it is like giving already this idea. So that is a 2 by term. So you remember 2 by pi, GM into pi, GM into R. So 2 pi GM into R is the gain of this single balance. So we just go to so 2 by pi into GM. That is the conversion gain of a single balanced mixer. But it has got a problem because of the fit. This yellow IF fit, yellow, then will be, you remember this yellow? It can be through the IF. So this yellow IF fit is still a problem. No. After that, you know all of you that finally the mixer stage which has been established worldwide is this stage. All of you know this. This is called double balanced Hilbert mixer. So that is where you are getting the four such two differential stages, but they are intercoupled. Such a way that one of the current gets cancelled by others, and finally this is the differential stage and this is the local oscillator stage, where you are giving that 0, 180, this is one phase, and 180 to the other phase. So M3, M4, M5, M6, then M3 and M6 are connected to are tied up and connected to the VLO1 and other end coming. So that when the transistor is on, this current is flowing in this way. This current flowing to M3 and also M5. And this current is flowing to M5, M4 and M6. And in between, when the switch to the phase, this current cancel out, and finally the resultant current as a differential state is passing through the M1, M2, finally you get as right. So earlier, what was the gain? 2 by pi GM into R. But this case of double balanced Hilbert cell, the gain is 4 GM. So I with this basic background, let us try to design a mixer using a Hilbert cell.
First of all, I can go a little circuit parts, so that will be interesting, because if I go for this direct derivation, maybe it will not be very much clear. Maybe it should be boring. So, okay. So, as you know that the first case where it was the square law device, correct? Where it was the square law device, we see that this is the equation was that V bias plus some kind of this term minus so multiplied by some factor k. Correct? So ultimately the equation shows that it is basically, of course, it is a square law device. It means that VGS minus VT whole square. And we know that nowadays the technology doesn't permit that square law. It's almost linear. So anyway, but for mixing purpose, let us assume that this is an old-fashioned technology and it is having this kind of square law nature. What do you find that?
He is giving a very important trick you try to avoid. Because all your technology is 65 nanometer or 90 nanometer, even 180 nanometer. Why is saying that square law will not work? Because of the short channel effects. The short channel effects, what will happen? The VGS minus VTS whole square, there will be another term on the lower side. It is becoming a linear device. So in this linear device, this multiplication would not occur. So don't go to the lower feature size while you are designing a mixer. Better to the longer feature size to avoid this short channel effects.
So typically, what should be the L?
N times.
N times.
So does this equation revealing anything? Is it revealing any kind of situation that why the problem of feed through? Feed through means that particular frequency, that is omega RF in radian per second, and LO, that is local oscillator, will come into picture. Because it's simple, because if you just square it, you know a square plus b square minus 2ab minus 2bc, 2ca, and all this thing. And you see that finally there is a term called V bias into VRF cos omega RFT. Correct? There will be term called V bias into VLO into cos omega 0t. There will be term called V bias minus VT whole square. There will be terms will called omega minus omega RF minus omega LO. That term will come also into picture. So you see that you will find that lot of terms will come which is proportional to this frequency, proportional to this, and of course desired particular thing also will come into picture. That is the all cos. This term will come into picture proportionally to this. Okay. Plus the DC term also will come. Correct. So you see that you have a local oscillator output frequency, you have a desired as well as RF output at the output term, and as well as the DC term. So this output, when it is coming out from this square fashion, so you can call it is a very fascinating way that it is called feed through. It means it is just like a leaking. So you want this, but you are also getting this. That's why sometimes it's called unbalanced. There is no balancing. Everything is done. So that's why the picture was changed. Because one option is that you don't have a perfect square law device. Second one, if you also have that, then also you will have this kind of problems. So second option was that is a single balance. What happened here? You don't have to go for a square. Actually, why you are going for a square law device? You can go for a cubic law device also. Because you deliberately want to multiply this particular singleton term with this particular singleton somehow. Because I know a plus b whole square is equal to some proportional term is also twice a. So basically you want to multiply with this term into this term. But unfortunately, you are ending up with other terms also. Okay? So, the more straightforward will be that directly multiply with this term with this. No square. So, how it is happening? So, that is called single valent differential case. What happening here? So, you will have a basically a differential amplifier in nature, look like this. See, let's say I am having a differential structure, which is very common to from very beginning of analog design, that I am having a bias current, that is a fixed voltage at gate, and then I am applying the whatever called small signal with respect to common mode voltage, correct? Instead, what the technology or what the proposal adopted was that you apply a signal here itself with some bias. Of course, you have to use some bias. Because the signal level which is applied here is called radio frequency signal, which is coming directly from the LN. Because you know the signal chain, band pass filter, LNA, band pass filter, everything. So anyway, so this level is not that much that the transistor will be on the properly active region. I mean active by means that saturation region. Generally we call it a MOSFET. So ultimately what happens is that you have to give some common mode voltage for RF plus some RF signal which is coming from the LED. So this is sometimes I am calling, okay, let's say VRF cos of omega RF. I am assuming that all are single tone. Now what you have to do, you have to directly go for multiplication. One way of multiplication is that switching. How it is that? Let's say when I am making it on the complete, so what is the current is flowing here? It's I bias, correct? Because of the DC bias, V bias. So if the signal is not there, constantly I bias current will flow. Plus this additional small signal term which will generate, let's say IRF current of this. Isn't it? So I am having a total current which is DC current plus a small signal. It is just like a differential amplifier. It is not a new thing. But new thing is here, this current will either flow here or here depending upon which transistor is on. Let's say I am having two transistors M1 and M2, and if I apply such a large signal here, such a large signal, it's not a small signal, again I am telling you, because I have to make the transistor on. Okay? And on means on. I don't have to go for an amplifier here. It means that I want to flow the current either through this path or through this path. What is the benefit of that? Benefit is that when I am getting the current here in this path, I will have some voltage drop, but I don't have a voltage drop here. If I am assuming that it is perfectly off and it is perfectly on. So if my power supply is VDD, then I will have VDD, and then I will have current, this much of current drop into RL, VDD minus of that. So I am having the drop of voltage, VDD, minus this amount of current into RL. So I am having the actual voltage drop with I bias plus IRF cos omega RF E into RL. This is my voltage drop. So I am getting a voltage drop across that, and I will do some signal. Okay? Now, just after some time, with the frequency of or with the speed of local oscillator, this transistor is moving on, and this is off. So again, I am having the situation just reverse. So what happens? Just imagine what exactly happened. Think. So if it is such that this transistor never ons, this is always on, then it's becoming a common source amplifier. Correct? It's a common source amplifier, nothing else. It's not that easy, I got difficult to imagine. But if I switch over here, what do you mean by this? You mean by that when IRF into cos omega RF into T into RL, this is a voltage drop. So basically you will have a signal swing if it is completely on. And you have the swing forever. But depending upon the situation, when this transistor is on, this particular, when the signal is actually, let's say, it should flow forever, maybe after this sometime the switch is off. This is acting like a switch. Then this is on. Then what will happen? The complete, if the voltage is higher, when it is going here, this voltage again go, because when it is off, what will happen the voltage at this node? VDD. So it's come here, then go for VDD. Is not it? So just before the completion of the full cycle itself, the voltage drop across it becomes zero and the voltage level has become high. Okay? Let's say. After some time, again the voltage drop will be somewhat lower. Okay? Because again the situation again reverts so that N1 is again on. What do you assume? That in a complete cycle, it is not able to go down and go up fully. Instead, it is going down or going up by a piecewise linear fashion. This imagination is difficult? Difficult. Because when I am going, then let's say I am having this kind of slope, so I am going up, maybe I am not going up properly. Sometimes VDD, then come back, then like this. So every time I am going up, some piecewise approximation is there. After that, next continuous mode, I am having either full VDD, correct? Then again come back to my original position. So what do you feel? The thing is that the voltage, when it is fully falling down, it never happens. The full cycle will never complete. Because before that itself, it is charging, recharging. So what happened? This piecewise linear approximation, if you go and you see that voltage drop across over the time will have a very slow response. Am I proper? Because it's never come down. It's going to a very slow response if you just make it continuous by a piecewise linear approximation. Or probably if you go very fast switching, probably this way. Because almost it will see that almost in the same level. Otherwise, because what happened, why it is not fully falling? Because intermediately it is charging to VDD. That's the reason. Because you are not going to make it to discharge to this much voltage drop. You are not allowing. Instead of common source amplifier, you are not allowing it to drop it fully. Instead, you are dropping it very small amount. Because after that, you are making this transistor off. This is again going to the VDD. Again after some time, again you have tried with little drop, then you can go back to VDD.
So here in this picture, so you can see it's downfall, there is not downfall, it's really going up. Again downfall, again going up. So you are doing this slow moving thing. That is life.
Now, so this is not a common source amplifier in terms of true in nature, but it is common source amplifier if you are thinking that the full time the switch is on or this time is on. Okay? So this is one point. Second point is that you have to apply the voltage level such that the transistor will make a on and off. So it should go for a linear region. Fully on. So voltage drop should be less when it is fully on. And voltage drop should be very high when it is totally off. Okay or not? So if this is the situation, it means that I have to apply a very large signal at this node. So basically this particular node is sometimes called LO. That local oscillator will come into picture which will switch over these two nodes. See, this is a difficult situation to imagine, I understand. If I am saying you, what is the conversion gain? What do you mean by the conversion gain? It's a difficult to interpret. Why? If it is a common source amplifier, you know that okay, my small signals current is this, which is coming somehow here, let us say, and multiplied with the RL. So IRF into RL. This is my small signal amplitude. Enough. And how IRF, this small signal amplitude is coming? How it is generated? It's simple, because if you know the transconductance of this transistor, VRF into GM is IRF. And IRF into RL is the VL. So into RF is equal to VL, that is into RF. And probably you know that VL by VRF is nothing but GM into RL in a standard way. Normal. But what happens here? If I want to tell you what is the conversion, what is the gain, what is the mean by the conversion, forget about the conversion part. What is the gain? What do you mean by the gain? Gain in terms of this node to this node. Don't think this is from this node to this node. It is from this node to this node. Node A to node say C. Again. How will you do that? What is the gain? First of all, in a standard way you will assume that okay, my gain is always like this, low pass. Because nature is low pass. Nature doesn't like very high sound. Nobody likes. So it's a okay. So I am having a frequency in terms of amplitude, and I am plotting it here for you. But in this case, it's difficult. Why it's difficult? Because you don't know which path it's going, which node you have to take away. Right? So, what do you mean by this gain? Like what is the plot? Both plot. There is no such plot. This is the first difference. Why it is not? Because there is no particular path. Both plot will assume that system is stabilized with respect to its DC operating point. What is DC operating point? I am not knowing. But anyway, you know, I think you know all what is. But there is no DC operating point in this particular case. So there is no small signal analysis is possible. You can imagine it's how difficult it is to predict what exactly will happen here if you just thinking that both are switching. You don't know what will happen. It's a totally depend on the when the transistor M1 is on or M2 is on.
Just a thing, do you need to apply certain bias to M1 and M2, certain DC bias or
Yes, of course you have to use. Why not? Because without DC bias, generally it will not turn on or make it a proper way. But if
both for M1 and M2.
of course, both for M1. It's a completely differential in nature. So everything is symmetrical. Okay, my question is that again, what do you mean by this? What are the feelings that the gain in this case is a function of what? What should be the function? Which will be? So if it is a small signal, is the transconductance and the load resistance. If I am assuming everything is other terms are negligible, normal case. But theoretically, it depends on the what is the frequency of local oscillator. Is not it? How long it is on in a particular path. Secondly, should not it depends on the amplitude of the local oscillator? Yes, it depends. As long as you assume that it is means when you have to, because as long as you assume that it is a very large signal, very large signal, then what will happen? And if it is not a large signal, but still the path will be added up and added down, what will be the error. But in both cases, just, okay, I'm still not confused. First of all, let us say the signal is very large. What will happen? Signal is very large. What will happen? So, on a steady state, mind that there is no steady state at all, but between the two piecewise linear approximation, there is a steady state. At least one path is on. During that, what will happen? So this transistor, let's say it is on, it is having very low voltage drop, and this is very high, so it is very high voltage drop. So this is off, totally no current, totally on. But this depends actually how much voltage drop it is going to get. Is it a linear problem? When it is fully on, it is a linear or not? Of course it is a linear, because that time the VDS should be greater than VGS minus VT. VGS is so high that condition is difficult to satisfy. Sorry. Correct? If it is so high, VGS is so high. So that means the VDS will be so low. That means the transistor will be linear domain. If it is a linear domain, the drain to source voltage drop will be totally depend on the actual amplitude of the signal of the gate. It's not it. It is not a current source. So it depends on the how much signal amplitude of local oscillator. Does it make sense? Of course, it depends on the GM. And of course, it depends also on the. Okay, let us just forget about it. Any other thing you want to make? Of course, it depends on the RF. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Now, if I go for a larger signal amplitude here, forget about other cases. Everything is on and blah blah blah. What is the case of this? Case is simple. It's like a common source amplifier with a very high input at the gate. Or at least not in a small signal domain. What is the problem? Your gain will fall down because you already know that this is a linearity problem. Because as soon as your signal amplitude is large, basic amplifier is where? Can you identify what is the basic amplifier? This is the basic transponder. And this is the load. Forget about M1 for the time. Who is what? You have to identify. This is the load. This is what? A transponder. It's just like a V2I converter, voltage to current converter. So voltage to current conversion will not be linear if the signal amplitude is higher. Yes or no? My gain will fall down or not? Even common source amplifier is possible. Same thing. It's not new. So sometimes it is called the basic nonlinearity will come into the picture by the amplitude of constant. Any other term? And you know that what is the normal basic amplifier characteristics? Much larger signal frequency to give, the gain will fall down. Is not it, or am I something telling a different? No, no. It's a low pass. So with respect to this transistor, it's a low pass unit. So this frequency of. So this completes maybe it is a complete schematic or complete functional space where I can. But you know that in other cases, these, probably these, and yeah, other terms, this term will not be present, but this will be always there, even a single amplifier also. So it's a difficult thing. It's a difficult to measure. When you are specifying a gain, you have to specify for what? With respect to what you are talking. Whether you are talking gain with respect to L frequency, or whether you are talking about gain with respect to amplitude of L, or RL, or RF, or FR, which? With respect to this, it's a normal voltage drop. Is not it? with gain with respect to the FRF only, forgetting other things, will be normal growth. But other cases, if you take into consider, it is normal growth. So generally, the conversion rate is difficult to simulate itself because you know what happens for this amplitude. Because a lot of parameters is coming into the picture. This is one case. Secondly, lot of talks, maybe not useful. But let us say, mathematically, it is sometimes going for a harmonic Fourier transform and all these things. But anyway, physically, what do you expect? Another point? You always expect that the I bias, this particular current, is always flowing either this node or this node. Isn't it? When it is this path on, again IRF, I bias plus IRF. When this path is on, again I bias plus IRF. So sometimes this is called balanced mixer because it is only having the multiplier characteristics, not like the square law figures, but it's called single balance. Because in balance, because of perhaps you have not removed the I bias. Perhaps. And of course it's difficult. How will you remove this I bias? Because always the transistor has to be on, some bias. What is the basic? You understand my point? So there is always a I bias offset will be there. So if you somehow remove this I bias, it's possible you might have a double bias kind of things. How is it? Can you propose some idea?
Before we go there, you said that conversion gain, to start with the question like why the conversion gain is the gain between the RF input and as well as the output gain. Why not local oscillator? But the discussion so far says that the conversion gain is a function of so many terms which involve both the local oscillator and the RF. Right?
Again, in this particular case, from which point to which point? It's not actually the local oscillator to this point. From this point to this point, because you are applying the signal here, you are getting the signal out. You are assuming that this is only on and off switch. It doesn't amplify. It doesn't give anything. Of course it will give, but in ideal case it's not. Now your question.
Now, why is it simply said that the conversion gain is the gain between the output and the RF?
Because this is a conversion. Because you want what is my signal level to this signal level. What is my LO signal level to this level is not important. Why?
It is switching action.
Okay. Another one. Because LO, the amplitude of LO is always fixed during the conversion process. Is not it? During the conversion process, LO is fixed. It is not becoming higher or lower, depending on because this doesn't contain any data signal. Information is not there. Information is there. Now, so if you can you suggest something so that you can remove that?
Just why you want to subtract this I bias? Because you can add certain subtract
Okay,
I bias minus.
Yes.
So that term can be by that
No,
process it can
if you because again I am talking when you are multiplying actually with respect to what? Right. See again the multiplication is some mysterious one because you didn't see here some kind of multiplication. But when I am talking that when the signal is going down like this, so people generally go for expression with that okay my local oscillator switching means sometimes it's like it's switching waveform. Actually the local oscillator should be like this. Like this is nothing but the first harmonic of this. So any square wave term will be converted to a Fourier series of odd harmonic kinds of nature, correct? So it's a proportional to 1 by pi and cos n pi or omega n omega t, where n is twice n plus, where is twice n plus 2, like this, where n is in here. Because if you go for a Fourier transformation, you know that. So you know that, correct? Any signal has to be like this. Somehow this, and you know that to find out the n, because you want to instead to use a square wave, you generally feel happy to multiply it with the sinusoidal first term, so that you can easily multiply it with another sinusoidal term, so that cos A and cos B, sin A sin B term become, so that sin A minus B, cos A minus B term become. So you generally go for first order conversion rate is that you convert this square wave in a first harmonics of the sinusoidal term, and then use that again, you tell, okay, this is nothing but a multiplied with some kind of, or some kind of multiplied with the an or a1 into cos omega L of t with the I bias or something like this. So just multiplying with these current terms and other sinusoidal terms. So this is okay. So what is the proposal? How will you do this? It's possible. It's possible because you know the differential signal is inherently cancelling the differential part. So why not using another term called I bias minus IR? Why not? And use it added up there. So if I go for this, see, if I go for this, so perhaps or maybe I'll apply a differential signal, IRA plus, instead of single signal, and then I will use another differential case, which is again with some common mode, with a signal level VRF minus. Okay? We should also assume that same source. And instead, I will apply to another differential amplifier, or let's say another switching case if I use the same load. And instead to just add it up, if you go for a normal case or any differential amplifier case or any differential OTA case, you will find that perhaps you would like to further notice of this. Maybe the load is the same. These terms come into picture. Okay? And this would be the situation. Maybe this is real or minus, real or minus. So this could be a grounded, or this could be a go for a common current case. The same load, with the same load. The load is same. So idea is clear. Because one channel, if it is going for IDC RF plus RF cross-quality, another will go RF. And if you subtract, you just see that if you take a differential signal, you basically have it twice IRT. So sometimes this is called a double valence mixer instead of single valence, usually having a gain just 6 dB higher. So double valence gain is 6 dB plus single valence mixer. It's nothing because the gain is high. So again, the analysis doesn't vary. Instead of single case, it's a differential case. But again, it's like common source amplifier in every cases, in every switching action, and it will go in this way. So, sir, comment here. layout. How output is connected to what? Oh, okay. So output is connected actually in some filter here. I will show you. Possible, I will show you the signal, how it is possible. I will show you that if it is the original signal, you perhaps will see this kind of a slow moving signal, which is a zigzag on the phone. I'll show you how it goes. But this filtering is required because still there is a local oscillator fit through. Right? How the local oscillator frequency comes here? Like this. Like this. Another very difficult point to realize, it's a very difficult thing. Again, this is difficult. It's not easy thing to understand. When you are switching over the requirement of LO amplitude, which is required to just commute the current from one branch to another branch, you need a switch to commute from one branch. Commutator. But if you apply overdrive voltage, more overdrive, or let's say square wave, which is amplitude is much higher, what could be the issue? Okay, let's say it is a single differential amplitude. Let's say. The same thing will apply here also. It's not a new. If you are applying a very higher signal, very high large signal, it is a high and it is low. What could be it and where? Oh, the transistor will be on. Perfect. Perfect. This is all perfect. If it is that point, it's okay. But during the transition, what will happen? Can you know? Can you know? Delay. Why? You can try. You can tell anything. We are honest also. Why? But it will act. What my question is that if I go for a small amplitude like this, up and down, the situation at the output will be same. Or if it is if I give a higher amplitude up down, the situation of also same. Should it? Don't you feel something is this mode? Or can you, I'm just giving you some guess. Let's say this capacitance is there. This capacitance will be there or not? Why? What is the name of this capacitance? What is the name? No. It's a gate to source capacitance. Should it be higher or lower compared to this value? This is which? What kind of trap? Generator. Overlap? Day-to-day overlap? But what about the series? Series is much higher. Now, if you go for a very high rise and high fall, what would be the issue of this? Let's say one situation when it is turning off. But that time, this transistor is not timing, it is going on fully. What will happen? This transistor is not on. See, it's very interesting point. But is just about to on because of finite resistance. This particular transistor is just about to off. What is it? So the full current, let's say the current is I, the complete current will not flow there because it's not fully on. But it is off. The current cannot flow. So, but the current source is a hot guy. It's a stubborn guy. It's very dangerous. It doesn't allow you neither a 1% increment of any other extra amount of current. What will happen? Leak. Come back. What will happen? You are just forcing such that the full current is not flowing through this because you are not making fully on and you are going to make it off. Maybe that 20% is still remaining, but 20% less current it cannot flow, it will not allow. Because it's a current source, you are assuming. No matter what will the terminal voltage, the current will not change. Sure. Sure. Are you sure? Why? You tell me. This is, let's say, 100 microampere current is about to flow. But you are allowing only 80 microampere in that case. But remaining 20 microampere, there is no more to flow. Only option. There is only one option is there. This current source will not be a current source. This current source will not be a current source. That means, because you don't have any other logic, that means the current source will not be a current source. What is the situation? Because generally, it actually implemented by a MOS transistor. And MOS transistor, when it will be not be a current source? When it's VDS value less than VGS minus VT. So suddenly, that time you see this voltage will suddenly pick up, just going to drift, and the current value will be increasing. So each and every time, if you are going for a larger amplitude, each and every time you are going for larger amplitude more than what you require, there is a chance that every time, half of time cycle, there will be dipping of this voltage, maybe going almost zero. Because this coupling, charge is nowhere to flow. One way it is, but this is not fully on. This is sinking current, but this fellow is not allowing that much of current. What it will do? What else it can do? It has to die. So it has to cease its operation as a current source. So ultimately this fellow will die. And you see, every moment you are switching, there will be picking of parts. And it's very hard. You never see the eye effect. It's possible that you never see the intermediate frequency. So it's truly important that don't go for a larger error amplitude unless you need that. Right? So this is the topic, but this is not a very high-fi thing. It's a standard normal things because it's applied for teaching. But I guess the time is not total, so we cannot go for complete. So in few weeks we will complete because maybe I'll start for a standard way to compute because my intention was to compute the IIP3 of this particular pair, differential pair.
So I can give you a overview of that. Very quickly. So I'll give you just 2 more slides which actually we want to put forward. Just 2 slides here. It will be in your classroom. So how is IIP3 and transistor coming? So it is the Hilbert cell mixer analysis. So look at these 2 stages, IRF plus and IRF minus. We are not going into the load side, that is the local oscillator part, because I am mostly concerned with the RF differential stages and finally connected to a current source. So if you look at this IRF plus is nothing but it is mu n C of W by L, VGS1 minus this V1 or VT, the threshold voltage of this transistor is 1, and so on. Then, if there is a change in small chunk current change, as he was mentioning, that there is a small IRF plus delta IRS, and so other direction it will be that minus delta IRF. So you understand that still we are thinking that current source is working as a current source. Therefore, there is a fixed current flowing through that. If there is a small change delta IRF occurred in one of this, then other end will be equally reduced by minus delta IRF. So a constant current is flowing through this. Then after a little bit of manipulations, it is pretty simple that you can arrive into the expression VRF equal to whichever of ISS by K, where K is the conductivity, and then you are getting this expression. Now, if you just calculate the expression of delta IRF equal to ISS by 2 K VRF, so I delta IRF is the differential RF current. How it expressed in terms of the RF voltages, then you can actually make a polynomial expression of that. Delta IRF equal to alpha 1 VRF plus alpha 2 VRF square plus alpha 3 VRF cube. And from there, actually, you can use this expression, and then by analogy, you can find out the expression of alpha 1, alpha 2, and alpha 3. So in this case, you will find that alpha 1 is becoming the KISS by 4 is the alpha 1. Now you remember the nonlinear part, y equal to alpha 1 xt, so that alpha 1 is coming for root over KISS by 4. Alpha 2 part is 0, alpha 3, that is xt whole cube alpha 3, that third order term is minus k by 16 root over of k by I. So these are the nonlinear terms coming into this RF from these simple equations, and this we did it for square law, and for actual Gilbert made this analysis using exponential law for BJT, but this one is converted to the square law devices, the MOS devices. So we have just followed this idea and made it to find out the expression in case of the square law devices. Fine. So how this alpha 1, alpha 2, once you know alpha 1, alpha 3, then it will be very simple to calculate the IIT. Because this formula is known, right? Square root of 4 pi 3 alpha 1 by alpha, I explained it. Then you calculate, you replace the value of alpha 1, alpha 3 from this expression. And then will come this expression that is 4 square root of 2 by 3 VGS minus R. So you understand you have to improve this AIP3 numerically going up, so you have to increase the VGS. So VGS should be large. And if you look at the harmonic distortion, what is the definition of harmonic distortion? Is this delta IRF3, that means the third order harmonic divided by the first order with respect to the fundamental. And again this expression coming up at K square RF 32 VGS minus VT. So you need to reduce this harmonic distortion. Again it tells you that VGS should be as high as possible. Therefore both these cases you have to improve the linearity. You have to increase the VGS. So you have to optimize the VGS. Another point, what he said that LO, the LO frequency, LO amplitude, if it is high, then the kick will come, right? Because it's IF kick. And that is not a very good solution to your mixer design. Then what I suggest that if you make the LO signal lower, then what will happen? That threshold voltage is 0.6 volt. But if you give a 300 volt peak to peak LO, then it will not turn on at all. Then you can give a DC bias, okay? Say 0.6. Then over this 0.6 volt, if you add an AC 0.3 volt, then 0.6 plus 0.3, 0.9 volt, the transistor will be on. And 0.6 minus 0.3 volt, that means the transistor will be off. So though your transistor with a fixed bias, which may be close to your threshold voltage, you can turn on your device like that. Another trick is that do not push your transistors to go to the high saturation, what you said that high voltage VGS. What will happen? It will go to a very, from saturation to the off point, it will take a lot of time. Better you go to the point of inflection, that is from the knee point, you go a little bit away from that, which is also saturation region, and go to the off state, this saturation region. So that you should not exceed the value. That means don't go into the deep saturation, or don't go into deep cutoff. So values of this local oscillator amplitude should be well controlled. It should not be very high. It should be moderate. Definitely it should work. It should be able to open on and off the transistors. Another important thing is that in spite of a square wave, if you give a sine wave, okay, then definitely I will get better spectral response. Because if you have a square wave, I will introduce all this harmonic components. All odd harmonic term will be multiplied with my input signals. So my spectral purity will suffer. In spite of, if I go for a sine wave, large signal sine wave, I can get much better spectral response. But what will happen? Actually, when a sine wave working in a large signal model, then after the transistor is on saturation, then the rest of the things is not required. That's a trapezoidal kind of signals. So again, this will give a distorted signals at the output. And it will take more time. Square wave, the faster transition will occur. But sine wave, you need finite time to transistor to be on, right? The square wave means positive, is sharp rise or fall. But for sine wave, gradual rise and gradual fall. Therefore, it will take time for transistor to go on and off. So for faster response, square wave local oscillator is required. But in your VCO, you do not have the square wave. So normally you have to generate the sine wave, which will be done tomorrow. Then you have a signal shaping circuit so that you can make a square wave. So in a nutshell, I would say that the basic idea of any mixer is nothing but it is the amplification, it is the multiplication of two modulating signals. One the GM, other one is the switching point. And a single balanced one doesn't give you that. You have to go for a double balanced one because the IRF part, as we have mentioned already, I bias part to cancel that. We have a double balanced mixer, which is nothing but your Gilbert cell. And after that Gilbert cell, we showed you how to calculate the linearly part harmonic distortions from the transistor's characteristics and the biasing point. So that is the overall scenario of a mixer. You like to show any simulation for the mixing we have done?
Yeah, tomorrow
we will show you the,
and as
based
well
on that analysis,
as VC also.
this we will show, but we will show the complete simulation of
At least we can show that how the square, the low frequency transient pattern is coming. Because you know that the problem is that what I am saying that the difficulty of analysis is what exactly you are going for a AC analysis, but with a transient analysis. Because the transient open it is switched on and off, but at the same time you have to do the AC analysis. And normal single AC analysis doesn't support you the transient analysis. That's why you have a different complicated.
so far as the RF simulation, as far as simulation part is concerned, mixer design is the most difficult because the multiple frequencies. So LNA, okay, I understand. Power amplifier, fine, but actual simulation of a mixer is a very challenging thing. So we will show you that operation or simulation tomorrow. Thank you very much. I know. So what time? Yeah?